is called the brachioradialis. Now on the model, all you can see of the brachioradialis is where it originates, because it's one of the ones that's missing. Okay, so the brachioradialis is coming from above where the bottom of the humerus is, coming from the humerus itself. Okay, and so that one's coming from this upper arm region, which is the brachial region. Now it's going to go across like this, and it's going to insert, actually this is where the tendon for it would be here. It's going to insert on the radius side of your forearm. So the name makes sense. Brachioradialis is another one of these that's named origin to insertion. So brachioradialis. Now you can usually see sort of the result of the brachioradialis when somebody twists their arm around like this. You see this muscle here that bulges out on most people's arms. That's the brachioradialis sort of sticking out right there when you do that. Okay? Now what I'm going to do here is I have this thing sort of oriented so that you start at the brachioradialis on the top and you rotate towards your pinky. Okay, rotate the arm towards your pinky and it will go through the muscles. Okay? So if you look, the next muscle next to the brachioradialis is going to be the extensor carpi radialis. And again, the name will make sense, okay? From the lateral epicondyle, you have the extensors, okay? It's going to sort of terminate here at the wrist. It's going to insert at the wrist, so carpi, wrist, carpals. And it's going to be on the thumb side, radialis, okay? So extensor carpi radialis, okay? Next to the extensor carpi radialis, if you look at the slide there, that's actually for the cat muscles. The cats are going to have two muscles where humans only have one here. This muscle is going to go from the lateral epicondyle to the fingers. Okay, so this is going to be the extensor digitorum, right? Because your fingers are your digits. Extensor digitorum, and it does this action. Extends your fingers. Now in the cat, there's an extensor digitorum communis first, and then an extensor digitorum lateralis second. Okay, so this muscle is just simply split into two. Okay, but in the human, it's only extensor digitorum. Now in the human model, you're going to skip this little skinny one here that goes to the pinky, and then you're going to go to the last one coming from the lateral epicondyle. Notice this next muscle here isn't coming from the lateral epicondyle anymore. It's coming from the medial epicondyle. So this last one here, this is the extensor, because it's coming from the lateral side, extensor carpi ulnaris, because it's on the pinky side. It's going to be an ulnaris muscle, because your ulna is on the pinky side. Okay, so extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay. Now if I continue to rotate, the next muscle on my list should be red there, meaning it's coming from the medial epicondyle, but it's going to be on the same side. It's going to be on the pinky side. So instead of being an extensor, because it's coming from the medial epicondyle, it's going to be a flexor. And the rest of the name will be the same. Flexor carpi ulnaris, because it goes to the wrist, and it's on the ulna side. Okay. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky in the cat. Basically, what I do with the cat to make sure I know where the cat's radius and ulna is, when your cat's laying down, it's going to be like this. So I always put my arm like this and say, okay, where's the radius? Where's the ulna? Okay, so I always do that. Okay, so the radius is going to be in medial here. So the radialises are going to be medial. The ulnarises are going to be lateral here. Okay. The next muscle is pretty simple. Okay, it comes from the medial epicondyle, and you're going to see it sort of end in the palm of the hand. This one is called the palmaris longus. In the cat, the palmaris longus will be really wide, wider than all the other ones. It'll be very obvious. Okay. Next to the palmaris longus, you have the flexor carpi radialis. Flexor because it's medial epicondyle, carpi because it goes to the wrist, radialis because now it's on the thumb side. Okay, flexor carpi radialis. The last one here is going to be this one that crosses over from the medial epicondyle to the radius. Okay, This is going to be the pronator teres. This is the muscle that causes this action. Okay, pronator teres. Now, if it were here, you would keep rotating and the brachioradialis would be the next muscle. So we went through all of them here.
Which one was the extensor digitorum lateralis?
The extensor digitorum lateralis, remember, is not in the human, it's in the cat.
Okay.
So this one will be 2. Communis first and then
Okay.
lateralis second. Okay. Any questions on the arm?